Matt is a good friend. Matt and I go way back. We've known each other since my days at the NCAA. And he was the first person I called when I realized this job was coming open. And I really wanted to talk to Matt just about the resources here, the leadership here, the community, and really wanted to know how he and his family liked it, right? And he couldn't have been nicer about the whole process and talking me through it, explaining how wonderful the community has been to him, how great the leadership is here at Coastal Carolina, and the resources that have been provided. And I think he's excited for the next venture of life. But I told him, I said, what excites me about this is the upward growth that we have here, the leadership that we have here, and the fact that he's right down the road. And so I can pick his brain whenever I need to and make sure I'm not falling in the potholes.
Chance, Dave Acker, WMBF. First question, I think it's a unique area. You mentioned it, kind of the tourism, and you've been here to vacation before. Everyone always talks about the NIL and getting things going, but it seems that Coastal Carolina has a unique advantage that most schools don't. What about that maybe drove you here? Just thoughts on that.
Yeah, Dave, good to meet you too. Look forward to working with you. That's one of the things I talked about it in my press conference and talked about it on the interview process. You look at the growing enrollment, you look at the county and the area is thriving. I mean, more people are moving into it than ever. And then you look at the tourism industry all around us, and there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of untapped opportunities that I think can really help our student athletes. And it's not just putting our student athletes in touch with them for sponsorships or NIL deals, but it's looking to try to use our facilities, especially with the new indoor being built and open soon, our football stadium, the arena here, and others that we can bring outside events and attract things here to Coastal Carolina that will generate revenue that we can put back into our student athletes, into our coaches, and into our facilities. And that's something I've been doing at South Carolina for a while now, is utilizing those resources. And they have a game coming up on August 3rd where we convince the two best Premier League teams in the world to come in and play a match, and that was money that we were going to direct back to our student athletes. So there's no reason why we can't do the same thing here at Coastal Carolina.
Hey, Chance, Chris Bergen, Sean Clear, and Sports Talk Media Network. Obviously, I think you could probably been comfortable at South Carolina and stay there for as long as you wanted. What was it about this opportunity that brought you to Coastal?
Chris, pleasure to meet you too, and look forward to working with you. South Carolina's been great to me. And I told everybody in my press conference, Ray Tanner was a wonderful mentor. He allowed me to really run the day-to-day of the athletics department. I was able to hire coaches, build departments, bring in staff, and build a culture that I thought was good for South Carolina. And after 11 years, I wasn't looking just to leave for anything. A lot of people in this industry, they want to be an AD just to be an AD, right? I wanted to be an AD at the right place with the right fit, with the right leadership and the right resources around me that I could be successful and the university and athletics department could be successful. And I can tell you, being 2.5 hours down the road for a while, I watched this program and I watched this university grow. I watched the success that was happening here. And I always told Lauren that if this job ever came open, this is one I was going to run to. And I was going to make sure we had an opportunity to get this. And I'm excited about the opportunities and the growth that we can have here. And I can't say this enough. On this interview process, meeting with President Benson, the Board of Trustees member, and the staffs, I could feel how fired up they were to be able to take this to new heights. And they've assured me, and I'm excited to work alongside of them, that we're going to get there.
For Dr. Benson, obviously, it sounds like you made a fantastic hire. Chance has been great so far. Can you just talk about the excitement of Coastal Sports right now? I mean, you got the soccer stadium getting set to open up soon, the indoor practice facility. It's really an exciting time for you, and I know how big of a sports fan you are. Just an exciting time here at the university. Can you just kind of talk about everything that's happening going forward here?
Well, first off, I'm delighted to be the undercard to the varsity today because Chance is the real deal. And when I talk to people, I called Commissioner Sankey. We talked for 30 minutes about Chance and his reputation in the SEC, his experience, particularly as it relates to facilities. And he mentioned that huge kind of mammoth facility they're doing up in Columbia around the football stadium and kind of mixed use. We don't have anything quite like that around where we are because we're somewhat landlocked, but still in all, You mentioned the indoor practice facility, soccer. Pretty soon we're going to break ground on a new track facility across 501. Continue to create an Olympic sports complex across 501. Continue to improve Brooks Stadium. A new scoreboard's going up, ribbon boards. We're going to do a new apron at baseball and finally replace the softball chairs in the stadium. So there are a lot of projects that, yes, we have to fund internally or through all the resources. Some we can do with the penny sales tax. And you'll be hearing about what I call a generational project on the corner of 501 and University, a convocation center that can host, yes, our men's and women's basketball teams and volleyball, but high school tournaments, high school graduations, a venue where a graduation ceremony for every one of our colleges doesn't have to be seat restricted. You can bring everybody because it'll have 8,000 seats in it. So Chance is going to have I've told him he's going to sink his teeth into that project, and we hope to break ground in 2026 with penny sales tax funds to fund that project. So stay tuned because you get one shot at a piece of land like that, and that's going to be the entryway, kind of that front door into our campus, and draw people into the center of campus to get more involved in other programs. But really excited to welcome Chance and his family and turn them loose on some of these projects we have planned.
President Vincent mentioned that project, just, that, and then you have the indoor practice facility, soccer complexes, those, and just what are you mentioned that you wanted to, get started on projects, as soon as you got here, just what do you kind of have in mind for things like that?
Yeah, Danny, it's a pleasure to meet you. I look forward to working with you. That's what really fired me up and I wanted to take this position because President Benson had talked about that convocation center, the new track, the indoor football facility opening up. And I think that gives you a lot of different opportunities, not only resources for your coaches and recruiting, but for your student athletes as well. But then to utilize that in other outside events that can really help this university, this athletics department, and this community grow. And I want to impress upon everybody here, that is my mission, is to help not only the athletics department, but help the university and this community grow. Okay, it's a thriving community, and we want to be a part of that. Lauren and I and the kids are excited about it. You guys are going to see us around a lot. We're going to be in the community a lot, and we're going to be out knocking on doors and trying to get people in here.
Joe Katz from the Chanticleer Sports Network and Hot Talk 99.5 here in the Myrtle Beach area. Nice to meet you, Chance, and Dr. Benson, a frequent guest on the show of ours as well here in the mornings. There's a lot of garnet and black sprinkled throughout the state legislature, purple and orange. A time or two you'll see a teal shirt pop up every now and then. Given your experience, obviously in Columbia, and your diverse background, how do you hope to leverage, some arms, in the legislature and elsewhere across the state to expand us? We're the cash cow of South Carolina here in the Myrtle Beach area. How do you utilize your experience to, make it known that we're not only little brother, but we're going to, compete with the best of them here in the state?
Joe, it's nice to meet you, and I look forward to working with you and being on that podcast here soon. So you talk about the state legislature, and it's split between the Garnet and Black and that school from up north. I still can't mention them, right? But I'll tell you, I spent a lot of time at the State House, and Coach Tanner and President Amaritas really allowed me to go up there and build relationships with the House and Senate members from this state. And those relationships aren't going to go away just because I'm here. And I can tell you a lot of them have already reached out and asked how they can help us here at Coastal Carolina. And I'm excited to be able to still spend some time with them, find ways that we can move forward. But what's exciting about this, taking a new job, especially the AD job, usually you have a little bit of time to figure out the state processes and the state leaders and the things that, will trip you up. Those are things that I've spent every day for the last 3 years doing. And I'm confident in my abilities to do that and to be able to take what we have done at the State House when I was in Columbia and be able to implement that here at Coastal.
For President Benson, I've only been here for 2 years, and we've already seen a new football coach, a new baseball coach, a new basketball coach, now a new athletic director. Maybe just thoughts on what's going ahead forward with all those new faces and all the different programs here.
Well, as you drive through campus and you see construction projects, I argue that those orange cones, while they're somewhat inconvenient for a period of time, signal progress. I would also argue that when you get new, fresh faces and some turnover in some really important areas on campus, that also signifies progress. We value our employees a great deal. we also welcome those new faces to campus that have had experience at other places. You know, Chance talked about going and visiting campuses and stealing good ideas and saying, why can't we implement this? And I love it when we hire new folks, they say, look, at my institution, previously we did this and it worked beautifully and it worked well. Let's try it here. So I see it as a continual kind of improvement process that fresh faces, new perspectives can do nothing but help us propel forward.
And kind of a follow-up for Chance, just you mentioned you met Tim Beck. Any other head coaches you've met, and first thoughts on the staff here?
I have. I've met quite a few of them, and I think the staff is very impressive here. And that was one of the other check marks when I was looking at, is this a place that I can be successful? Coach Beck was wonderful, his whole staff. We go back a little ways. His agent and the offensive coordinator and defense coordinator, their agents, used to invite me for the past 4 years out to Birmingham to do mock interviews of up-and-coming coaches. And so I've actually interviewed all of them. I've sat down with them. I've kept in touch with them. So this was a nice welcome to come back and see them here and see them ready to go. And then, like I said, we went over on Sunday and met with the men's basketball coaching staff and spent a lot of time with them. And, man, that impressive people. And I told Coach Gray, I grew up in the SoCon region near ETSU, so I watch a lot of SoCon basketball. So I got to see him, and he reminds me a lot of Coach Paris that I had a hand in help hiring at South Carolina that in year 2 took us all the way to the last game to win an SEC championship. And I'm excited with Coach Gray and his staff and what they put together. And then a lot of the other coaches have reached out. I've talked to the baseball coach, the soccer coach, the golf coaches, tennis coaches. I'm trying to keep them all straight at this point. Honestly, it's been a whirlwind. I told President Benson that 3 hours after it was announced, I looked down, and I think I had 980 text messages. And then the emails, and I tried to open social media at one point and just shut it down. I said, I don't know if I can do this just yet. But it's been exciting, and just the welcoming that the staff has provided me and my family has been absolutely amazing.
Chance, my name is Will Dackel, WPDE. Up there, you mentioned the importance of fan engagement. Can you kind of go into that and talk about what you have planned? I know you probably can't divulge everything, but
Yeah.
the importance of it and what you might have planned for the student body.
Yeah, Will, a pleasure to meet you, by the way. Look forward to working with you. I told you guys in there, I don't have hobbies, okay? That's my hobby. I really like it. It fires me up. I love the fan engagement. And I tell people all the time, it is hard. You cannot control what 18 to 22-year-olds do on the court, the field, the pitch. Once they get out there, it is what it is at that point. But what we can control in the athletics department is the time a fan comes to a game till the time they leave. Okay. It also is the time that they call in to engage with your athletics department and university when they have issues, when they have problems. So it's looking at all of those touch points, right, and making them better. My family and I think I said it in the press conference, we're big Disney people. And it's because my kids love the magic of Disney. My wife loves the rides, but I can tell you I love how they interact and treat people when they walk into the door. And I've taken a lot of that stuff. I've stolen it from old Walt Disney and tried to implement that at South Carolina. I think we can implement a lot of that here. And just walking around, I see some things that we can do in the stadium, in the arena, at the baseball stadium, softball, that will be able to help us move forward. But really want to sit down with the staff and Dwayne and Carrie and others and figure out what are those pain points that we can help fix moving forward.
Okay, for Dr. Benson. You inherited Matt as your AD, so now that you had an opportunity to hire one yourself, what traits were you looking for, and how does Chance meet them?
Well, I said what I said about Matt. Great friend, committed wholly to this university, and really excited to see how the Hogue Sports Media Hub develops, because as I told him, I wanted to model it after the Newhouse School at Syracuse. So soup to nuts, sports production, train our students in all aspects of reporting, producing, all of that. And Matt, I can't think of anybody better qualified to do it than Matt. I wanted an AD, we wanted an AD, and I sat down with the trustees, sat down with the search committee. I checked them off on my introductory remarks about Chance really did check all those boxes. Someone who's had the experiences at a bigger school with sports supervision like football, someone that had an advanced degree is really important to me, because he can help with the contract side of things with a JD from New York University, New York School of Law. The fact that he's passed the bar in New York, which is one of the hardest bar exams in America, and they asked him to take it, sit for it here in South Carolina to help out with the department, and he did it. That's going to be a huge benefit for our department. The fact that he's worked at the NCAA, the fact that he talked about the number one priority is our student athlete experience. That's it. That's the only reason we're all here today is those student athletes that have that name on the front of their jersey that represents something bigger than any of us. We'll be here for a season, as the Bible says, but then we move on wherever that is. But our job is to make it better. And I wanted an AD that had experience other places and seen what is possible. He talked about the potential here and how we can tap into that and make this the best, I would argue, the best group of 5 program in America. I had several people reach out to me and say, this is the best athletic director job available right now. And I would agree. And we got the best candidate.